Thursday on TNT, it's the Daytona 500 qualifying races at 2 o'clock Eastern, where the rest of the field will be set for the Daytona 500. Then next Saturday on TNT at 1 o'clock, it's the Hershey's Kissables 300, the first race of the season for the NASCAR Busch Series. Then 1 week from today, the 48th annual running of the Daytona 500 on NBC, and our coverage begins at 1:30 Eastern with the Bank of America Countdown to Green. To pit road and Dave Burns.
Jamie McMurray is back in the purple 26. As he left pit road, he told the crew, you know what, this set of tires is vibrating. I don't know if it's the tires, I don't know if something didn't get tight, but they put the right sides on, and now they're taking a long time looking at the left sides before they put them on and send them back out. Marty?
Dave Kinstrader leaving pit road. We talked to you about their water temperature issue, it being actually too cold. They came in, they put on a ½ inch, or actually a ⁄4 inch piece of tape. It's a silver tape on the front grille of that 21 car, hoping that water temperature will pick up, and thus the engine performance will be a little bit better.
You need warmer temperatures to generate more horsepower, right, Benny?
Well, it needs to be about perfect. It needs to be around 200 degrees. Anything less than that, not perfect. Anything more than that, not perfect.
We're going to take our last commercial break. If it stays green, we'll stay here on TNT. The Budweiser Shootout from Daytona is brought to you by the new Gillette Fusion, the best shave ever in manual and battery power. And by new Icebreakers Ice Cube Gum, the frosted cube that's surprisingly cold. Try new Ice Cubes, the gum that has everyone saying, whoa. And we're ready to go at Daytona. Field coming around to get the green. Be 42 laps to go when they cross the line this time with Jimmy Johnson and Tony Stewart on the front row. Double file restart, no passing till you're across the line.
Okay, the last time the outside row was fastest with Jimmy Johnson there, and this time it's Tony Stewart on the outside.
Get him wound up.
AB?
Hey, Justin Dale Jr. with his repaired race car. Look at him up there inside of row 4. He was just told by his spotter, Steve Meal, the 55, Michael Waltrip, is the car behind you.
Former teammates. Tony Stewart trying to get over in line.
I don't know if he's really trying to get over in line. I think he's just trying to squeeze down on everybody, but wow. Inside line's got to run, and Tony Stewart doesn't have much help right now.
Well, Mark Martin ducked behind the 5 and left Tony out there by himself. So Tony's got some drafting help now. It's Joe Nemechek behind him. 48 of Johnson, the 5 of Kyle Busch, our teammates from Hendrick Motorsports.
Elliott Sadler in the 38 car moves into the 4 spot, and there's Dale Jr. in the 8, trying to get to his bumper.
Michael Waltrip trying to hook up with Jr. Michael Waltrip driving the 55 car this season.
Looks like Michael's having trouble closing up on the back of the 8 car.
Told you before the race he could pass him, BP.
That's what he said, but David Michael got a good push from the 17 car. Looks like Elliott Sadler got under the 6 car of Mark Martin. And Kyle Busch going for the lead on the outside.
He got a big push from the 20 car of Tony Stewart just there.
And Mark Martin got out of the gas to stay out of trouble.
And Carl Edwards is in no man's land, 3 wide with no help at all behind him. I give him sure that hole looked good when he jumped in there, but it doesn't look good now.
No points. This an all-star race. More than $200,000 to the winner and a lifetime invitation to this event.
Carl's not giving it up.
Yeah.
He dove to the outside, up in 3 and 4. He's still out there.
Is he
smoking?
got smoke coming out there? I can't tell if that's smoke or dirt. He's running pretty high.
Could be speedy dry.
There's the 20 car. Stewart on the high side of Jimmy Johnson. Wow,
20-year-old
pack.
Kyle Busch in the lead. Elliott Sadler behind him in the 38. Dave of Kyle Busch.
I talked to his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, yesterday about this 5 car. I said, how was it for you? And he said, our biggest problem is that we couldn't draw up on other cars and make the pass. So we worked on both aero issues on the body and our carburetor. We feel like we can pass today, and now he's the leader. Alan?
Elliott Sadler's crew chief, Tommy Baldwin, told me just before the restart, minor adjustments on this car during the break. They have a very good race car. They think they can win. He's showing some strength.
Hey, Alan, why did he fall back in that first 20-lap segment?
Just got shuffled out of line, BP, and being careful. They don't pay the money until the last lap, right?
Okay, you're right.
There's Junior down on the bottom. Getting squeezed down on the bottom.
Elliott Sadler jumps up high. Junior goes by. Michael Waltrip trying to stay on his bumper.
That was a block.
That was a big-time block by Elliott Sadler in that 38 car. Because I was so impressed with Michael Waltrip. It looked like he was going to struggle to keep up with Junior, but he got on the back bumper of that 8 car, and they were going somewhere.
You think Elliott wanted to get behind the 8?
I think he did.
37 laps to go.
I think the 8 wants to get by the 5.
That 5 car can be tough to pass.
Boy, that's some serious blocking there, isn't
I'll
it?
guarantee you that 8 car will lay the bumper to him if he keeps doing that.
Now the backstretch. On board with Junior. Trying to get a run on the 5 of Kyle Busch. He's got it. Dale Earnhardt Jr. loves to drive the high side here at Daytona.
Jeff Gordon said it in his interview a moment ago that you can't pass on the outside. We'll see if Junior can.
He didn't really have enough help up there. He had a good run going, but Elliott Sadler wasn't close enough to keep him in the trap. Now he's got Jimmy Johnson behind him. And there goes Waltrip into second spot.
Michael thought about popping up high to see if Junior would latch onto his bumper, and that might happen on the backstretch. Marty.
Well, it wasn't long ago, Bill, Jimmy Johnson was up front. Now he's had to work his way back up to the front. The biggest problem for Jimmy Johnson, he's lost the guy that he was going to pit with, Jeff Gordon. Now out of the race, so Chad Knaus had to go make a deal with Ken Schrader's car and also Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car so they could pit at the same time. Alan?
Look at Denny Hamlin in his first ever Nextel Cup Series restrictor plate race, challenging for second place in the 11 car on the inside. His crew chief Mike Ford told me this race was all about friendships and relationships, showing he could behave himself in the draft as a rookie to get the veterans to draft with him in the Daytona 500 next week. Denny's been on the radio 2 or 3 times during this race, saying our car's even better than it was in practice. I can get to the front. He's doing it.
Got help too. Tony Stewart.
Michael Waltrip started this 50-lap segment in 14th position.
And has worked his way up to and took the lead on the last lap in that 55 car.
Michael on the high side.
And look at this Michael Waltrip go. Wow, unbelievable.
Allen on Mikey.
Yeah, Bill, this is a driver who believes he can get the job done here at Daytona. I talked with Michael earlier this week. He said, you know, I'm still the guy that was pushing the pedal to victory lane in 2 Daytona 500s. I may have a new team, but we've got good cars, good engines, and I think we can do it. He's pushed that car all the way to the front after losing the draft in the first segment of the race.
Unscheduled pit stop for Elliott Sadler. So this continues on the track. Sadler is in his stall on pit road. Kyle Busch in the 5, Denny Hamlin in the 11. Allen?
Overheating on Elliott Sadler. That's why they brought the car to pit row and try and clean the grill. And they took 4 tires while they're here. Remember now, they're good to the finish on fuel from here. The problem is they pitted by themselves. They've got no drafting help.
Casey Kane did the same thing. The 9 car has been on and off of pit road. Mark Martin in that 6 car on the high side trying to get back to the front. Marty, you working some strategy down there?
Well, and Chad Knaus was working the strategy earlier, trying to make a plan with Ken Schrader and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Chad just radioed to Jimmy, we're pitting in 2 laps.
Sadler trying to get back up to speed while the field roars by. You need a partner when you pit, otherwise you will not be able to maintain the speed the rest of the field has.
Oh, Tony gets in the back of the 11 car, almost turns him around.
Teammates.
He has been pounding on this bumper for the last couple laps.
Trying to educate his teammate.
Well, I mean, no, that's just what you got to do here. You do it in the straightaways, not in the corners. But Stewart's been doing it on the straightaways, been helping that 11 car get down the straightaway.
Both drive for Joe Gibbs. Hamlin is a rookie. Stewart a two-time series champion. The defending champion of the NASCAR Nextel Cup.
And I think that Jeff Gordon was correct. He said that you couldn't pass on the outside. You had to do it on the bottom. We saw the 8 car, Dale Earnhardt Jr., try to pass on the outside. He finally has just given up and got back in line on the inside.
Casey Kane, the 9 car, to the garage.